What's up, you guys? It's your boy Miguel here to give you your daily dose of radiation. In today's video, we will be doing a 7-on, 7-on split. And if you're curious what that looks like day to day, we will take you along the way. So, as we can see, it is Wednesday, January 2nd. So today is the first day of my 7-on, 7-off split. And it is the morning time. So the first actual working day starts at night, but my stuff starts in the morning because since I've been off 7 days, I have to transition my body into it. And naturally, after working for about 4.5 years, my body already kind of knows today naturally that it's Wednesday and I'm going back to work. So probably around 1 or 2 p.m. my body naturally gets sleepy. But for now, we just woke up, dropped off the kids, and I usually go to the gym in the morning. So 7:40 we'll go to the gym, knock that out, and then we will continue the day. I'm just doing this to educate anyone who's curious what a day-to-day looks like for an Xray tech night shift. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the new setup. We ended up getting a GoPro, and we'll see what we can do with that. But I'll take you along. And if you're curious what I drive a GMC 2021. That is the vehicle I have. I ended up putting a grill on it due to the amount of MVCs and stuff I see at the house, like at the work. It gets pretty bad. So you see a lot of car crashes. Put a little top on it. And I even in the back put the hitch just for extra protection. And it is quite cold outside today in Texas. So we'll heat up the car and get it going. So I have here my beloved Xray bag that I carry with me. Right here has all the stuff, and I like using little seat cushions at work just because the chairs we have are not the best. So I have those with me. And my little handy dandy bag that I've had since college. So as you can see, it's old. I like it. I think it costs like $50. But yeah, it's pretty good. Always like the first day heading on to your 7, you have a lot of energy and you're still good, full of hopes and dreams. And as these days go on, you will naturally see my face get more tired and I become almost like a zombie-ish, sluggish. Since I have 2 little kids, and depending on what happens in Miguel's world as far as like, do I have to take care of the kids? Is the daycare closed? Is like, do I have appointments to take them? Do I have to give up sleep? And other stuff like that will vary my energy level and how a 7-on, 7-off goes. So you will see that and you can get a glimpse if you're curious. I just decided to switch it up and give y'all some different point of views of how this looks like, you know? So let's see what else. Usually today I meal prep everything. I like to meal prep because it makes it easier on you. Like as far as like just having food already pre-made. I live kind of a bodybuilder type of lifestyle, I guess, but it's just easier in general. I have all my meals for my week prepped out because there's so many times when you leave work and you're hungry and you don't want to cook, or after the gym, like you don't want to cook, and it just makes it way easier. Sometimes I forget to meal prep and I have to meal prep during the middle of my night shift and I'm mad and I feel irritated. But so we'll knock that out and we'll have all the food ready for the week, which helps out tremendously because you never know what happens in life. So yeah, so right now we're just waiting for the car to warm up and we'll head to the gym. As we arrived to the gym, I train at the Iron Asylum, and if you ever see me out and about, you can always welcome to say what's up. or if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer it for you. So I like, and I recommend anyone, the Bose big boy headphones right here, or you have the little ones for those. After like working so much with people at work, and especially me, I'm really antisocial. These help just let you listen to your music, just zone out, not be bothered by anyone. Highly recommend it. I know some of y'all watching don't have Xray money yet. You're still, the struggle bus. But afterwards, some of the luxuries that you can enjoy after working in the field. And yeah, we'll knock out this workout, which will be the easiest out of all the workouts, just because we have so much energy. And just slowly over time, your energy level tends to drop and it becomes harder. So I do understand for those who don't like working out or feel like it's hard to work out. It is a struggle by the end, and sometimes you feel like you don't have to, and it's just something I personally prioritize. Since when I was in college, I had to give it up just because it took me so long to learn, and it was like 350, and now I'm currently at 225. So it has helped a lot significantly. Being a little bit more skinnier, it's helped more for like product, even for work stuff outside of just the health. Like doing portables has been easier on my feet. Like I don't like everything. Even like I used to go to the 5th floor and it would be harder to breathe. Now I'm just cruising and I'm on like autopilot. And even for shoes wise, since there's less weight on your shoes, they last longer. They are easier on your like joints and stuff. And overall, lifting and working out helps a lot, because I'll tell you, some of them patients at work says this is America and we have big people, or even in general, if you work night shift, there's less people to help you. And sometimes, and it's just you and your little board and you don't have no one else joining you, it's up to you to get that little X-ray board under the patient and get it done, because at the end of the day, it is your job to help people out, and it's not always going to be easy. But I'll stop rambling and we will continue on. I hope you enjoy this. It's a little bit different versus my regular video since we got the GoPro. And yeah. Alright, you guys. So we finished working out. It is currently, let me see, 8:47 is the time. So we'll go home, eat some breakfast, maybe do a little bit of cleaning, something, a few minutes, getting stuff prepped. And then we'll probably go do some cardio, walking on the treadmill, maybe edit some videos, do some stuff like that. And then it will probably be time for lunch and then meal prepping. So we're at the house, we're eating some breakfast. So since it is my first, technically heading on to my first night, I have more energy. So I'll usually make me some pancakes, some eggs, an omelet, something like that. Now, as the days go on, you get more tired, you don't want to do stuff. I usually just end up getting just like a packet of oatmeal with some peanut butter, and that kind of like when I'm dead tired, that's kind of what I go through. Just throw it in the microwave or boil it, and that's kind of my go-to meal for that. So if you're curious what kind of shoes I wear to work, I have the Hokas and I have the Asics. Those are the two different types of shoes I usually tend to wear. Because the Asics, these have more cushion as far as like they feel better, but over time they do wear out sooner. And then the Hokas, those have good cushion too, but they last longer, but they're slightly less comfortable. I like a lot of cushion on mine. I would say those probably last me about a year. And then these, about the 8-month to 9-month type, they start to like, I can feel that I need some new shoes. I mean, the Hokas, they look ugly. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it real with you. They just look ugly, but they do get the job done. So if you're, starting off the X-ray world, you haven't got that much money, I'd highly recommend getting those, because those will last you a whole year. And these are more of a luxury, but they do end up wearing down slightly faster if you're just curious. So now we're going to the gym to do a light walking, probably an hour, hour and a half we're doing, and we'll probably just edit some videos. And yeah. Alrighty guys, so we finished our cardio. It is currently 10:56 and we will go home, eat our lunch, I suppose you can call it, and then we'll meal prep. So as far as caffeine and how I go about that, today usually I'll just have a little bit, probably 160 milligrams in the morning as soon as I wake up, because later on, if you drink any energy drinks or have any caffeine, coffee, whatever, it's harder to go to sleep, especially that first night going back into work. So I tend to have it a little bit early, and then depending on how your life goes or what you got going on and how sleep deprived or how hard the workload is, as the nights progress, you'll have to slightly have more caffeine. And it all kind of depends, depending if I sleep today a little bit, I might not need some caffeine when I wake up heading to work. And then depending how the rest goes, we may have to slowly increase. Especially by the end of the 7, we might be chugging some caffeine, a lot more caffeine. So if you are able to sleep between 6 to 8 hours, you might not need to. I have kids and a bunch of other stuff going on usually in my life, so I don't get too much sleep on the regular basis. But that's okay, because I mean, during college, my body kind of adapted to surviving on low hours of sleep. So obviously when I'm off my 7, I do sleep more and I'm able to recover. But some people can't manage to function on the low amount of hours I sleep I tend to get usually. But that's just me. So if you don't have kids or you don't have anything else going on, you'll probably be able to sleep more and you'll be fine. So here is the meals that have been prepared for the week. I make about 14 meals, 1 for lunch, 1 for dinner. 2 are missing. I already ate them for today's. Usually I'll eat both of my meals early in the day so I can go to sleep. It's currently 1 o'clock. I may do a few things else and then I'll probably go to sleep. So the first day you're able to get away with a little bit more, like less sleep, and your body's still functioning. But as the 7 goes on, you will not be able to function and you'll need a little bit more sleep. So today, if I need to do something, I edit a video, we do something else, and then I'll probably end up falling asleep around 2, and then I'll wake up about 4:30, go get the kids, and I'll probably be about 8. So not that much. Some people struggle to go to sleep during the first night, well, first day-ish, because your body's still day shift and you'll have to kind of push. But the next day for sure, probably around 12, I'll probably end up going to sleep, maybe a little bit early depending on what else I have going on. But for now, that's about it. We'll see you when I wake up. Alrighty guys, so we just woke up. It is currently 4:19, and essentially what we're doing here, we already slept. That is our sleeping for the day. Woke up, gonna make the kids some food, gonna go pick them up from school, and then after that put them down to school. I give the kids food, and then the lady comes home, she eats, we'll do homework, and then we'll head off to work. And then essentially my night shift begins. So we'll see you in the... Alrighty guys, so it is currently 7:36. We're about to head into work, getting ready, got everything, got the lunchbox, got the drink, got my little setup going. Alrighty guys, so it is currently 7:38 and we'll be heading off to work for our very first night, and we'll see how it goes. We'll check to you in at the end of the shift. Alrighty guys, and with that concludes night 1 of the night shift. Let me put a little light, a little better. Yeah, with that concludes night 1. It went amazing. Had my original partner that I work night shift back with me, and we have what I call the best emergency room doctor there is in our hospital, holding it down. You know, the ones that don't order that extra stuff, just straight business, straight chest x-ray, straight, don't bother you too much, can't confirm nor deny a nap. But it was a good night, still full of energy, and right now probably gonna go to the gym and knock that out, and then head home for breakfast. But overall, day 1, it was a good night. Not that many morning portables. I think we had like 20, no add-ons, so no extra stuff towards the end. Everything was pretty smooth, pretty easy, which apparently day shift got caught up with a bunch of stuff during their shift, which normally during the winter time it does happen. So I would, anyone who works night shift and you're like, should I pick up, unless you really need the money, I would stay away from day shift during the winter months because they are really busy. Burn your PTO if you have some during the winter months. Highly recommend that, because the workload, like, almost sometimes, like, for sure doubles, and in some cases you could even triple it. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Alrighty guys, finished out the workout. It was pretty good. So for those who are curious how hard it is to work out during your 7-on, when you go do x-rays and stuff like that, so I noticed after doing this for about almost 4.5 years, your forearm is gonna be fried just from work, or especially if you're at a place where you have to use the portable machine a lot and you're going to the floors. Your forearm is already gonna be burnt out. I can say for a fact, both when I'm on work and then when I'm off, there's like a good probably 10 to 30% notable difference in the weight I can lift, or just how exhausted I feel. Like completely different, which changes your whole workout and stuff like that, and how hard you can push and all that. So I noticed that for sure. And then depending on how much workload happens and depending what night it is, there's a bunch of variables that kind of affects how you feel when if you even want to go work out and stuff like that. But overall, it was a pretty good night. As far as how tired I am, because we had the good doctor and I can't confirm nor deny the naps, I would say as far as my health bar or my sleep bar, like the overall energy, we probably dropped down maybe 5%. So we're still running at like 95%. So we're still pretty good. We have the good doctor for I think 2 more nights, so that should lead us on a good start. Because it all, depending on how your first night goes and whether you got sleep or you didn't go sleep into, like, heading into that shift, will kind of depend how you end up coming like awaking in like your second night. Because if it's like, if you started with a very, very hard first night, like as soon as I wake up, I'll feel it. Right now I'm fine because I got like some caffeine and I still have like the adrenaline, still feel good. But once I sleep down and sleep for a few hours and then I wake up, then it kind of hits me as far as like how much, like I'll never recover. Like I can't say like I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up with more energy. Like that doesn't happen. It just slowly declines. Best case, I wake up and I'm like at 95 or 90 as far as like energy and stuff like that. But it'll just slowly decline over the night. It's just something that if you work night shift, you have to deal with. Unless you're one of those people who is fortunate enough to get a lot of sleep, who has like 8 to 6 hours, which I wish I did, but I have the kids and other responsibilities. So on best, probably today, if I had to guess, I'll probably end up sleeping at 1 o'clock, waking up at 4. So we'll get 3 hours. If everything goes good, maybe 12. We'll see how it goes. So on to the next. First, we eat breakfast. It's about like 9 o'clock. And then we'll probably end up feeding the ducks. I have ducks and dogs. And then we'll probably end up going to the gym, do a little bit more cardio, and then we'll end up probably prepping for the next night. Have my little lunchbox with my jug of water, prep everything for tonight. Maybe do a little house cleaning, like as far as just, you know, with the kids and stuff, just to prepare for when I wake up. I'll just go get them and feed them again. It's just kind of like a little cycle you're in, and any extra stuff you have to do outside of your little routine becomes kind of an inconvenience, and depending on what night you're on, it will kind of bother you more. But because the whole time you're like, I could be sleeping or I could be doing this. So we'll finish this up and we will continue the day. Alrighty, so we arrived to the gym again. We're gonna do some cardio. And the beauty of like being done with Xray school is like it almost feels like, imagine GTA. Like you have your set amount, like you work, and then outside of that, you could literally do whatever you want. Maybe you have responsibility, maybe family, but like you can literally do anything. Like most people that I've noticed at work will go to work, come home, go to sleep, wake up, eat, and just repeat the cycle, and will most of the time won't do anything. Like the sad part, like even me just doing like working out, trying to get healthy, whatever, even though I work at the hospital and most people are like nurses and are in the medical field, like it doesn't take a lot to be like within the top 10% of your hospital as far as like health wise. Like it is crazy. Like even if you're semi under 10% body fat, semi workout consistently, you're already in like the top 10% of the hospital. Obviously summer hospitals will have like healthier people with, like at ours, most of them, they're out of shape, super overweight, don't really care about their health. They just tend to eat out a lot. And it still amazes me how that part happens, even though you see people at the hospital sick and your medical field and you know a bunch of stuff. Some people just say they don't have time, or they're just doom scrolling on TikTok or whatever they have going on in their life. Some people really can't because they got a lot of stuff going on. But I mean, if you're willing to give up the sleep, you can still fit it in. I mean, I don't really think it's the healthiest that I'm doing right now. I don't sleep too much during my night shifts, but I'm still young, so I'll be fine. So as far as if you're curious about caffeine wise, I used to at the beginning take energy drinks like a Bang or like some energy drinks, and it was good. And then I started to notice how much money I would waste on it and how expensive it got post college. Cause like sometimes I would be drinking one every single day, and from like even if you buy from like Sam's Club, it would be like $30 a case. And I later on, probably I think last year, I transitioned to caffeine pills, which is way healthier, less stuff in it, and it's just the caffeine with like some little energy little packets they saw at Walmart, which helps me, gets me through. I mean, I still drink sometimes caffeine, like energy drinks and stuff, only if I really, really need it. If I have like, I'm really sleep deprived and I like pull an all-nighter and I don't sleep at all with the kids being sick or stuff. But if you work night shift, caffeine is something that is always involved in your life. If it's coffee, pick your poison. Most of the night shift is always with an energy drink, with a coffee, with something going on. And then there's the few people that don't eat anything, and they're good. So I don't know. Those people are built different. Me personally, when I'm off, I'll go to sleep like 8, 9 o'clock. I don't, if I ain't getting paid night shift money, I'll be asleep early. I'm like, my ladies to this day don't understand how I do night shift. So knock out this cardio, and then we will probably eat my second meal, which will be my lunch, I guess. So alrighty guys, so we finished the cardio session. It's about 10:30. Gonna go home, have my lunch. I am fortunate enough that I have a like 3 to 4 minute commute to work, and I am fortunate enough that that's how far I have to travel for work. I mean, there's people at my work that have to drive from like literally 45 minutes to an hour to work. So for all those people, I could see how if you work night shift, it'd be hard just making it home after like a hard day of work, and you would not even want to go to the gym. So I could see how there's some people who it'd be hard on. But then again, I'm like, I think about it and I'm like, and some of these people have been doing it for years, and I'll look at them and I'm like, is this place, is there nowhere else you could work at over there, wherever you are an hour away, that you come here? Or is where I work at right now a pretty good place that you've been to all these other places, all these other hospitals, and this is the one that was like the best case situation? Because there's like 3 or 4 techs, and they're all like super veteran who commute very far, and that's like what I'm gauging. They never said it, but that's what I'm gauging it of, like it's kind of like a okay place to work at. So like I personally love it, have no complaints. It's pretty easy. It's slowly ramped up over years and it's beginning a little bit more, but it's pretty good gig. I'm pretty blessed. I know other people hate their jobs. I actually like my job, not too bad yet. So we'll head on home and we'll work on some dinner. Or here we are eating our first lunch. Simple, just some rice, some green beans, and some chicken, and we'll have a salad, and that'll fuel us up and continue on to the next task. Alrighty, so it is about 12 o'clock, so we're about to have our next meal. So some people, I just got out of the shower, so some people, they tend to do better going to sleep on an empty stomach. Other people, like me, I've noticed after working so many years of night shift, I tend to go to sleep better with a full stomach. And it all kind of depends. You can see how your body does, because I would wake up hungry in the middle of my sleep, and certain people can wake up, do something, fall back to sleep right away. Other people, as soon as you wake up from night shift work, like it's harder for you to go back to sleep, because maybe noise, maybe you look at your phone, maybe whatever it is harder to go back to sleep. For me, I always tend to eat all my meals. Plus it makes it easier for me, because when I wake up, I just like prep the stuff for the kids and I'll just go get them and continue my day. And I noticed when I tend to fast the rest of like the afternoon after I wake up, my body's energy and stuff, and even sleepiness level at work stays pretty good, because certain people like to eat at work. I'll see them have like huge meals at work, and some people do well, other people do better snacking. Other people, when they eat that big, you hit the 2 to 3 a.m. threshold where you just see them like this. So I personally just eat all my meals at the house. Makes it easier, because there's sometimes, even at night, where you will literally be running all over the floor. You'll be, emergency room will be popping off, NICU, labor and delivery. You'll be running around everywhere. And by the time you look at it, it's like, it's 2 in the morning. And then you're like, maybe sip of water, rest for a few minutes. You don't even want to eat. You're like, well, now we have to do morning portables. So you run around, do all that, come back, rest a little bit, take care of whatever's done in the ER. You maybe get a snack, and then you have to go to the other side of the hospital, continue doing more portables, and then you come back, drink some water, do whatever, and you're just running, and then it's at the end of the shift, and you're like, well, I can like eat here, I guess, or eat at the house. So like I just tend to just take a little protein bar to have it with me with like some water packets and like little energy packets, and that kind of saves me from ever getting in a situation where I can't eat. Or sometimes if I don't eat right now, maybe I'm busy or something like that, I'll eat before I go into work, and that kind of helps me out. But everyone's different as far as that. So we'll finish up this meal and then maybe edit some videos, do something else, and then it'll be time to go to sleep so we can go into day 2 essentially. Currently 12 o'clock, and if you're curious, I do take supplements for health purposes. Do you need them? If you're a broke Xray tech student or you're in college, do you need supplements to survive? Probably it would be a luxury at that point, because when I was going through Xray school, I was spending all my money on caffeine, fast food, and just trying to survive. This is more of a luxury for me. I didn't start taking any supplements until I graduated and I had Xray money. And I mean, to be honest, I think it does its role. I mean, I don't get sick besides maybe once or twice a year. I feel good. I just take like some fish oils, multivitamins, vitamin C. I take a little fiber, like pills, just to help with digestion and other stuff like that. And a calcium, just because, I mean, you see so many broken bones. You're like, oh, let me pop a little calcium to just help me, just in case. And some creatine. And that's really about it. Nothing too fancy, just health purposes. It's not necessity, but I feel like it did help me as far as health and stuff like that. So if you're curious, I mean, it's just like a simple little toolbox. Got the supplements in there for each day, and yeah, a little simple. I mean, you don't have to get no fancy stuff. You can literally go to Walmart, pick some cheap stuff, and you'll be kind. I would highly recommend anyone who's working night shift to get you some black covers, because it literally will make a huge difference. And don't buy the cheap one, because light will go through. Make sure they're double and they're thick, because it will. When I first graduated and I didn't have that much money, I got like the cheap one from Walmart, and the light would come through, and I ended up having to, like, I put it in a different room, and I ended up getting the more expensive one, double thick one, and the light covers. And this makes a huge difference, because like, some people can sleep without it, some people can't. I just feel like with these, it makes transitioning onto night shift, makes it easier to sleep. And another thing I would recommend anyone getting is a sound machine, a simple one. I think this is like $5-10. And this one, some people can do without it. I found I just have better sleep with it. And on the weekends when I have the kids and they're making a lot of noise, this helps tremendously with that. And on the weekends, putting some little like earplugs helps me a lot also. Some people don't need it, and it could be a luxury. Maybe people don't need noise. Whatever floats your boat. I just feel I get better sleep with this, even though I don't sleep too much. As far as melatonin pills and stuff goes, if you're curious about that, me personally, I don't really take anything like that. I used to at the beginning of, like, when I started working night shift, because like I didn't know how my body was gonna do, and just experimenting. And once again, this is just me on my own body. Your body could be different. And I took like the little gummies that would cost a little bit more. I think I forgot how many milligrams they were. of just melatonin. And what I tend to notice was I would take them and then I would wake up, but then I would be like super, super groggy for like from like 4, because I usually wake up like at 4:30, from like 4 all the way to about 6 or 7 o'clock p.m. And that would hurt me, because like I would have to start drinking caffeine as soon as I wake up just to like flip the body off. I currently now only take melatonin is like on the weekends when I sleep more and I get those actual 8 to 6 hours sleep and actually sleep in. I tend to take those, especially with the kids making a lot of noise. It does help me get into a better, deeper sleep. And if you're in a position where you don't have too much money, the gummies are a little bit more expensive. You can just buy like sleeping aid type of, like, it comes like in a little tiny bottle. I think it's like 10-15 cents a pill. Like it's not that expensive. You can take one and it will help you. But it's more of a luxury, and you don't truly need it. There's other people who do struggle with sleep and they take other medication, but that's more if you want to, because I know some people always have questions about that. And even caffeine, you have to be kind of careful sometimes depending on how much caffeine you take. Like I just worked out like in the morning and I took like 160 milligrams of caffeine, and I guess because I'm so sleep deprived and tired, it's never a problem. But I could see someone taking caffeine in the morning, and then when they try to go to sleep, it's more harder. The only time I kind of struggle to go to sleep is on my first night, which the other night ago, because my body's still trying to transition. But like from here on out, I really don't struggle too much. But yeah, probably finish up a video. And it's probably be 1 o'clock by that. And then we'll go to sleep and we'll see you on day 2. Alrighty guys, so we just woke up. It's about 4 o'clock. Gonna go start cooking for the kids. And as far as sleep-wise, I ended up going to sleep like at 2. So it's 4, so it's about 2 hours. As far as the energy bar goes that I was talking about, we're probably sitting at a 90 right now. So usually right now that it hits me. So see you in the next clip. Alrighty, you guys. It is almost 8 o'clock. So we're about to clock in here soon for my second night shift of the stretch. And if you're curious to know why you will never see me filming inside my hospital, like you see sometimes people post videos of them filming inside their hospital. So technically speaking, depending on where you work at, how strict they are, you're really not supposed to be filming inside of the hospital. And I know for a fact that when I got hired to my hospital, they made you sign a paper that said that they don't want any type of social media outside of like the company's one, and no pictures, no nothing, and they're very strict about all that. So if you see on the internet people posting stuff or doing what they're doing, I mean, unless they got permission from their work to do that, if they find out, because like our manager was talking to us a while back about it, if like the upper management hospital finds out that you're doing that, you could get suspended, you could get fired, you could get your license, like it can go up to board depending on what's on the video. Best case, they just make you like remove the video, but it can get pretty severe. So feeling a little down, so got my little caffeine pill. Help me out a little bit more healthier than, taking energy drinks. But essentially we're ready to go. And once again, we have the good doctor tonight, so hopefully it's a smooth night. Today's Friday. between Friday and Saturday, depending on how big your city is, there's some activity. No, today's Thursday, sorry. Tomorrow's Friday. When tomorrow's Friday, then we'll have some more activities going on. You'll find some more like car crashes or drunk people or other stuff, depending on what's going on in the town. But it is flu season, so there's going to be a lot of, chest x-rays, but that's not really a problem. So I'll check with you in the morning at the end of the shift. Alrighty, you guys, another day down the books. Another successful night. We had, once again, the good doctor again. Can't confirm nor deny naps. And it was pretty smooth. Had probably like 20 morning ports, a few add-ons. And the good part about having a good doctor is you at least know that in the emergency room, you're going to be safe from any unnecessary orders. And most of the time with ours, it's like mainly chest x-rays, and then depending if it's falls or anything else, usually it'll go to CAT scan or anything like that. He can only save you from so much because the floor doctors and anything else happening around like the hospital, you still got to do. But overall, it was a pretty smooth night. Nothing, no major traumas, nothing crazy. Usually today's pretty chill. Friday, we have the good doctor again, so we'll see how that goes. Because Friday, you have the town, depending on what activities happening, or people or young people decides to go party, get drunk, or we have more, traffic in the city. You'll have a little bit more car crashes. So we'll see if it rains. If it doesn't rain, then it may be a smooth night. I know when it starts raining, people tend to crash or people fall, and we have a little bit more action. But from here, we'll go to the gym and we'll run it back. So if you're curious, you're like, Miguel, how tired are you? So because once again, we ran it back again with the good ER doctor, I would say we're probably once again sitting about a 94 as far as like overall like tiredness. So we're still doing pretty good. Today I have a little bit less stuff going on, so maybe probably around 12 we'll end up going to sleep, and we'll probably sleep from like 12 to 4, so we'll sleep a little bit more, be sleeping about 4 hours ish. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better than the other past 2 days. So right now we are heading to the gym. Once again, continuing the health and fitness to try to get shredded. That is one of my goals. Pulling up to the Iron Asylum, a very hardcore gym, somewhere like that the infamous Arnold would train at. I think Arnold would approve. Very hardcore, no AC, hardcore gym. Very less people, which I approve of, because if you go to a commercial gym, there's a lot of people. More for like the cheap membership and stuff. Here it's a little bit higher. I think it's like a $50 membership. Very less people, and the people who are here, it's just straight to business. No talking type of gym. So about to get it in for a little bit, probably 30 to 40 minutes. And then I'll be about breakfast time. Alrighty, finished out the workout. I'll say that my forearms have been giving up on me on the gym slowly over the 7. Like I told you guys, your forearms and like your strength level outside of like work, like I'll start to drain. And then depending on like how many hips, femurs, or bigger people we do on the floor, that will kind of like make a significant like toll, especially if you want to work out after. Let's see, another tip or recommendation I would do at your house or wherever you stay at, if you have family members or if you don't, I'd recommend getting some cameras. I have like the Blink cameras or YZ cameras, and put them like around your house. So since you are working night shift, you can monitor your house. I mean, at my house, I have some all over the house, and I mean, I have my family, kids and stuff at the house, and I just watch them from time to time, because certain times of the years, like there's more activity, like during the summertime or during certain holidays, or like sometimes something will happen and my wife will text me like, yo, can you check the cameras? This and this and that happened. Or like she heard some noise and she's inside of the room with the kids or something, like, or just me in general, if I feel like the suspicion, since I'm a dad, like, oh, maybe there's something going on, or let me just scroll through, like, do a little time lapse through the cameras just to make sure that everything's okay around the house. So that's just something I would recommend for anyone, just for like safety precautions, because you never know what could happen. Or if like they deliver packages late, or even when you're sleeping, because you are sleeping during the daytime, if anything happens, or if someone comes to the house while you're sleeping during the daytime, you have that as like an extra insurance and stuff like that. Another thing I would recommend on your phone, and I mean, it all kind of depends on everyone, what they have going on, if they have kids or family. Do not disturb has come, I didn't discover this till like maybe 6 months into my night shift, because ain't nothing pisses me off more than I'll be asleep and then some spam call will wake me up, and then it's hard for me to go back to sleep. So like I've kind of had it to where if it's not like my family or someone from work or like the kids or someone like within the local group that I know, that they know that I work night shift, and if they really need me, they can call me. The call will go through or whatever, because nothing has pissed me off more than getting constant spam calls and waking up. So that's something I would recommend you doing if you can. So we'll check in at breakfast. So I have dogs and I have ducks. So usually while I'm making the breakfast, I come take care of the little ducks and give them their breakfast. And usually you check for eggs, and it looks like we got one. I'm not sponsored or anything, but something I would highly recommend anyone who's on their feet all day is some good sliders when you get home. These are called the Oofs. Good cushion. It costs about $60. And I used to have like the Nike ones, and I thought those were good until I tried these. Highly recommend. It makes a huge difference on recovery on your feet, and worth the investments. If you're curious about how long they last, I've had these, I probably have to replace them about 1.5 years, and I use them almost every single day. Highly recommend. So we're off to do some cardio. Did extra the few other days just so on Friday I don't have to do as much, so I can get a little bit hours of sleep. So if you can see here, it is quite foggy, and I know what you're saying. You're like, Miguel, will this affect your workflow at night? It sure can, because you would think, oh, it's just a little bit of fog. The, as I call it, the NPCs, which I refer to just any regular person outside of my scope of field, the NPCs find a way to get into car crashes, get hit, people, any variable you can imagine that can throw off the roads, like just anything, they will find a way to get hurt It continues to amaze me, between people not changing their tires or having terrible driving skills at all. And at the end of the day, when they show up to your hospital hurt, it's your problem now. So yes, any little thing like this, I'm already thinking in my head, who's gonna crash and show up because of this? And I know you're saying, like, Miguel, it's completely random. I know, but sometimes I be asking them, yo, what happened? And then they tell me, and then I just keep count. And right now it's pretty deep. Like, it's pretty, like, usually I can see my gym from here. I can't see, so it's getting way denser. So I'm very concerned, not for me, but for all the extra workload we'll have. But the only thing I have going for me is that I have the good doctor tonight, and we should hopefully be in the clear. Limited visibility for sure. You guys see? It's deep, thick, can't see nothing. Can't even see my gym entrance over there. But yeah, we'll knock out some cardio. Got about, I think, 30-40 minutes, and we'll check in for the rest of the day. Meal number 2 of today. Well, technically 3. I guess this is your dinner before I go to sleep. So, alrighty, you guys. The time is 7:35, and we're about to go into another night shift. It is raining, so some little MVCs, some other stuff. The only good side is we do have the good doctor in the emergency room, so we should be okay. Well, guys, another day down in the books. Another good night. Another good night. We finished off once again with the good doctor. Nothing crazy. A lot of broken ankles. We had like 3 broken ankles that came in all deformed and stuff. A few post-ops on those, and that's pretty much it. We had probably maybe 15 x-rays in the emergency room, and then probably like 20 x-rays from morning portables on the floor. Nothing too crazy, so I would consider it a good night. Now, as far as how tired I am, probably sitting like at a 94 still, because of the good doctor. Can't confirm nor deny naps, but for tomorrow we have different doctors, so I can't say the same. Heading into the weekend, it's kind of a mix. Sometimes it's chill, sometimes it's busy, so we'll see. Right now, I'm gonna go home, chill with the squad, eat breakfast. Because it is the weekends, I do have time with the kids. So I really won't do too much filming because I got little kids and it gets kind of hectic and stuff. But today, since it is the weekend, I will definitely be able to sleep more maybe. So probably maybe 10 a.m. we'll probably 10 or 11 a.m. we'll go to sleep, and then we'll probably end up waking around 6, maybe 7, depending. So we get a little bit more sleep on the weekends, and then following the rest of the week we're back on low hours of sleep. So alrighty, you guys, here we are going in for the night shift. Another shift waits for Miguel. It's a good sleep, a good amount of Z's. It was a pretty good night for me. I think I went to sleep around 11, woke up about 6. So for Miguel's situation, that's like probably the most amount of sleep he'll get. Today, I don't know who's our doctor, but hopefully the weekends are kind of up in the air as far as, is it gonna be like a good night? Is it gonna be like a like, it's kind of all, it's up in the air kind of, because sometimes we have chill nights. Other times the nights are just chaos. Because usually it's pretty chill, but then I would say like once or twice a month. And in the winter times, they get more notorious for heavy. We'll get slammed as much as day shift. And there's only 2 of us overnight at the Trauma 3 hospital. And I mean, you just gotta lock in and you just be running, and those are the long nights. And usually it happens on the weekend. That's what I noticed. Or sometimes Sunday heading into Monday, because people do stuff over the weekend, get hurt, or they just don't want to go into work, and they'll just go to the hospital to get an excuse note. We've seen it all, especially where I work at. We're at the county hospital, I believe it is called. But hopefully it's a good night. We don't have the super bad doctor at my hospital working tonight. Well, the one that gives us a lot of work. So hopefully it should be a good night. So we'll check in with y'all in the morning. I hope y'all enjoy this style of video. It's a little different because we ended up getting a GoPro, and I just wanted to take y'all on a full 7 on 7 off type of adventure, so you can kind of get a glimpse of what it's like for the average Joe. So we'll see you, I guess, in the morning. Or alrighty, so that concludes night number 4. It is currently Sunday in the morning. It went pretty well, even though we didn't have the good doctor. We had the, I guess, just like the average Joe doctors. Nothing crazy last night, just less morning portables. I think we had like 15 only on the floor. A few rapid calls that happened around the hospital, but overall it was a pretty chill night. Can't really complain. Didn't have that many people come into the emergency room. We'll see how Sunday goes. Usually during Sunday into Monday, it's pretty chill. It all kind of depends how I walk into, like how many EMSs and stuff come in, or what people get their stuff get into over the weekend. But overall it was pretty good, pretty chill. And usually like our morning portable list during Sunday to Monday gets cut a little bit even shorter, because the order set, which for those who don't know, the order sets are certain patients that are like on the 5th floor or other parts of the hospital have like chest tubes or whatever they have going on, intubated. They have like, for like 7 days straight, they always get an Xray. And then sometimes on the, like after certain days, the order set will stop, so we'll get like less orders. But there is a high chance of like getting stuff added on later on in the shift, but we hope that we don't have to do it, that it's after 8 and it's not our problem. So we'll be heading home once again, eating breakfast with the kids, chilling for a little bit, and then probably going to sleep around 11 or 12. So we should have like a good 6 hours of sleep. As far as how tired I am, I would say right now we're probably sitting at probably like a 92 tired wise, even though I do sleep more on the weekend, because the other days prior I am more sleep deprived. It doesn't really like it doesn't really charge like my body, because like I'm deep sleep deprived. The body's just trying to catch up from sleep. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Alrighty guys, 7:47. Here outside of work, about to clock in for another night shift, Sunday to Monday shift. And so today I ended up going to sleep a little bit more later, probably like at 1. Woke up about 7. As far as tiredness, I would say today we're at like a 90. So today the lady was nice enough. We have the coffee and we have a little caffeine pill. Get the energies up for this one. I feel a little groggy, a little tired on this one. So as far as how this Sunday will go, well, I already pulled up and we have one of our doctors that is notorious for ordering a lot of X-rays, so we'll see how tonight goes. I don't think she's the overnight doctor. At the hospital, you have two types of doctors. You have one that's like from 3 to 1 a.m., I think. And then you have the overnight doctor, which I think comes in at 8 or 9 and then finishes up all the way to like 7 or 6 a.m. in the morning. So usually you run with two doctors for part of the night, and then it's just one. So, and then you deal with everyone on the floor. So we'll see how today goes. Usually when it's the doctor who orders a lot of stuff, as soon as you walk in, it's straight chaos just from day shift and a bunch of like the backlog work, and you get caught up sometimes picking up from what they left because they got slammed. So far, EMS wise, it looks like we're clear, because other times there's like a bunch of EMSs and like the doctor who orders a lot of stuff is here, and you already know that it's gonna be chaos. Or like walking in and like I look at the portable and it's already dead, or like super low on battery, like you can tell the day shift has been running around working a lot. So I'll let you know how today goes. Alrighty guys, another day down on the books. Nothing crazy, pretty chill weekend. Just had a lot of stuff going on the floor, but besides that, it was pretty chill. So about like 15 warning ports, nothing too crazy. A few big people we had to shoot, but besides that, it was very chill. Gonna go home, eat some breakfast, go to the gym, and then run it back for the next day. So it is Monday, January 12th, 8:07, and we'll continue on. I mean, I will say as far as tired, I'll probably put myself like at an 85 now. So we dropped a little bit more, and then my lady told me that one of the pipes is leaking at the house, so we'll probably have to stay up. That means Miguel doesn't get to sleep as much. Looks like it's about like an hour, could be 3 to 2 hours project of getting that fixed. So that's definitely gonna put me into, we might need an energy drink, we might not, it all kind of depends. So we'll see how that goes. Which once again, if you're not involved, like if you don't have a family or you don't have anything, like it could be this, or it could be some other stuff you have to deal with during your workload, and it all kind of ends up affecting how much hours you can sleep. So we'll see how we go. So alrighty you guys, it's currently 2 o'clock. I have not slept yet, but I've took care of the dad stuff I had to do around the house. So obviously it's not ideal to go to sleep. Like I'm probably, by the time I shower, eat, it's gonna be like 2:30. Have to wake up about 4:30ish. Obviously it's not healthy to do that every day, but situational. You just gotta do stuff. I mean, I still worked out, I still got everything done, so technically it was a successful day. It's not healthy, but to each their own, I suppose. Sometimes you gotta do stuff. I mean, as far as overall tiredness, I'd probably say I'm running like a 70 now. Who knows, when I wake up, probably feel even more tired. So I'll see about the energy drink when we wake up. But that is the life. Now, I know some of you are like, Miguel, that's not good. Well, technically, most people would be like, oh, you're probably going to call in to work because how are you going to make it through the night? With caffeine, you'll be pretty straight, you know. Like when I pulled my infamous 26 nights straight for like almost like 8 months, I think it was, we were running it. There was weeks because like I had to take care of stuff because I didn't have my 7 on 7 off, so I still had to get it done and still go to work. I think the most, it was like 4 to 5 days where I ran it between sometimes no sleep, sometimes 1 to 2 hours, and we would run it for like, I think between, I would say up to 5 days. We could do it, and then you would start to feel it at the job. So For right now, I'll be okay because I mean there's been overtime at work, but I just can't pick it up because of my schedule with the kids and stuff like that. So like for the past like 2 months, we've just been 7 off, 7 off. So like one day me not sleeping, it's not gonna kill me. Now obviously, if you're older tech and you're doing something like this, you would probably feel it significantly. Right now I'm young, I can still do it. Obviously, this isn't something you want to do all the time, but if you need to, it can be done. So I'm about to probably eat, shower, and then we'll catch you probably on the night shift. Like I predicted, it is 2:38. We're about to head to sleep here soon. So if you're curious, most of y'all watching are probably in college and you probably drink energy drinks. If you're curious how much I've had to drink back in my prime college days, it was probably, I would say, the last like 6 to 8 months. I was running on 1,200 milligrams, which is a crazy amount. And I was drinking straight bangs, the 300 milligram energy drink, which was insane amount of caffeine. To the point I was getting like twitches, but we made it. We got the degree, gained like 120 pounds, got a kidney stone, but here we are, all because of the program. So it's not easy. Some people have it easy during the program, other people don't. There's people who graduated the program who ended up being more skinny. Other people just stayed the same. Other people, it just all kind of depends. So I think what mainly got me was it took me so long to absorb knowledge during the typical like 16 weeks classes, and thank God that they were that long, because I would just have to study so long. And it's something that it truly puts in perspective what you can, like, once I graduated and I chilled and I had my degree, and I was like looking back, and I was like, it kind of puts in perspective what you could do outside of like school if you're willing to sacrifice or put your, like, it put in perspective a bunch of things. So like right now, me doing this crazy low hours of sleep, for some people they'd be like, that's wild. And I'm like thinking back, I'm like, this is nothing compared to back in the day. And I'm actually doing something I love, and I'm actually doing, what like Miguel in the past would want to be, where I would kill just to be where I am now. I have a job and doing Xray, so I am thankful to be in the position. And I mean, obviously these days like these that I don't sleep like that, it depends the season we're in, and if the kids are sick or just family or other stuff I have going on, dad stuff. It's just part of life. Same thing during X-ray school. Your life outside of X-ray school didn't like stop because of, there's always stuff going on. And I mean, obviously most of the time I was just studying, but this is different. Just, dad stuff over there, plumbing and stuff, but it is what it is. So if you're curious how this sleep's gonna go, it can go in one and two ways. I can go to sleep, my pillow, I would just hit it and wake up like that, and I'll just be still at 70. Or I'll hit the pillow and I'll wake up and I'll be feeling like 50%. Or you sleep and you get like a power energy type of situation that's happened before, where I wake up feeling like refreshed. In certain cases, it would almost be more beneficial for me to stay up and just run it 24 hours with no sleep. It would be more better sometimes, depending how my body feels. So right now we're kind of gambling to see which version of Miguel we get, and we'll catch you up when you wake up from our little power nap. So we should be good. I don't have any overtime scheduled for next week, so I'll be able to sleep and kind of rest my body, because like if I have overtime scheduled, and most of the time it's daytime now, because my Wednesday I get off, I kind of don't sleep just to catch up on all the stuff, and depending how many days I picked up, I just have to like knock as much things possible that have to be done around the house or whatever stuff I have going on, just so when I do pick up, it doesn't affect my ability to stay on schedule and stuff like that. So it does change the off days kind of stuff. So for sure, I'll keep y'all posted. And I haven't recorded the other, but we did eat. We ate breakfast, peanut butter and oatmeal. We had lunch and dinner, I guess. We had a ground beef with rice and stuff. So we are eating. I'm not giving up food or staying off my like nutrition stuff. So we're still on top of that. So we are pretty good. So we'll see you when I wake up. Alright, you guys, it is 4:52 currently. So essentially when I woke up at 4:30, it was a tiny bit struggle to go to sleep. I did set up several alarms because depending on how I wake up, sometimes if I might not hear the alarm, so I just put a few just to be safe, especially if I'm working. So I would say initial wake up, probably like 65 energy. See right there, there's one of my alarms. 65 energy. I mean, I've been drinking on some Diet Coke, and right now we're probably about 80%. But the true test is probably the 2 a.m. mark at work. That kind of gauges at where we are, because like this right now the sunlight's hitting me, and that gives me like a kind of tiny boost of energy. But it's more of the 2 a.m. at work that kind of 2 to 4 a.m. at work that kind of gauges at where we are, and we'll kind of test the energy level, because depending on how that goes, because it could be one of those long nights where it's hard to stay awake or just stay focused. Because there's sometimes like I'll shoot something and I'll look at it and I'm like, is it good? Like, we gotta do it again? Or like there'll be simple things. Even my partner at work will shoot it, and then she'll do like for an ankle, instead of doing like internal oblique, she'll do like an external oblique. And I'm like, nope, other way. And then she's like, you right, you got it. And I was like, I'm like, as long as one of us is semi-cognitive, or I'm like, as long as one of us is just catches it, you'll be okay. Because I mean, it happens to anyone, mistakes and stuff like that. But at night shift, especially like at night 7, you'll have, and if you're tired, sleep deprived, you'll have some cases that like some basic simple things, I'm like, as long as one of you catches it, you'll be okay. So we'll go in to this Monday night. Most Monday nights are pretty chill, not too much going on. Sometimes I will say that the last 2 nights, depending on who's running the emergency room, can be some of the more harder struggles, because usually for my 7, heading into it is like the hardest, and then towards the end it's kind of more chilled. But then I've worked so much overtime on the opposite 7, they kind of have the flip side of it, to where they begin chill and end heavy. But then once again, depending who the doctor is, it doesn't really matter. Especially during this season, the COVID flu season is, once again, I will stand by it, and I recommend anyone in this profession or future people in this profession, burn all your PTO time off during the winter, because if you're trying not to work hard, you're trying to be more chill, this is when it happens. So I would definitely burn it during the winter times, if you're able to. I know people plan their vacations, differently, but if you want to be smart about it, or if you just have time off and you're just trying to burn it, save it during the winter months. Trust me, like my coworker took like the month off basically, and she came back, she's like, so what do I miss, Miguel? I was like, a bunch of work, because during this, I sometimes end up taking it during the winter months. And one time I was thankful I was home, because I was watching on my phone because they'll send updates of what's going on. I'm like saved all that chaos and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll check in with y'all when we're heading into work. Alrighty, you guys, another night 6, heading into today. So far 1 EMS, not too bad, just regular doctors, no one special today. So we have a few people on our portable list that have been, like, they removed their chest tubes or they haven't been intubated. So slowly people are getting better, but then literally as soon as they remove people from like the ICU, they get replaced automatically by other people, and it's a never-ending cycle. So job stability, I suppose, if you want to think about it. So far, energy-wise, probably sitting around a 70. I didn't think I needed an energy drink, but I mean, I just took like a little caffeine pill and a little flavor energy packet from like Walmart. So I think it's like 300 milligrams of caffeine. Nothing too crazy. But I do see we have the doctor that orders a lot of stuff. I see her car. So, but hopefully it's not an overnight, because usually they don't get here till like 9. So, but even if that doctor's here, you'll still end up getting the tail end of the chaos always. But we'll see how tonight goes, and hopefully it shouldn't be too bad of a night. But the thing that affects the ER is one thing, and then the floor is something else. You can have a good doctor holding down the emergency room, but then the floor can just drive you crazy. Some of it's with like people being admitted, and then they go up to the floor, and then they need central lines or they need whatever, and then you just get dragged into chest x-rays and G tubes or whatever chaos happens up floor. And with the doctor we have right now that I see is notorious for admitting a bunch of people, so that causes future Miguel problems, because then I'm gonna have more morning ports or more stuff to do overnight. So another EMS, so we'll see how today goes. Alrighty, you guys, finished at 8:19. Got a little bit later than expected. I mean, if you work in the emergency room, just know from time to time there could be traumas, there could be day shift coming in late, whatever happens, and you could get pushed back outside of your regular time. So that does happen, because there's like a true emergency. You can't be like, oh well, I gotta go, like it's the end of the shift. Like sometimes it doesn't work like that, or maybe we only have like one of the day shift come in, and then it's just you, and then it starts stacking up, and then it's just like they have to go to the floor or go do whatever happens, and you have to end up staying a little bit later. So that is something a little bit different compared to like if you work at other establishments, but that's something that happens. But I will say that, I mean, just from where I work at, it's always that, like, day shifts always arrives late, but leaves early. And it's just always been like that. At least where I work at. I don't know about other places, but to each their own, I suppose. But we're just gonna go eat some breakfast, hit the gym, and run it back for Friday night 7. Don't have no good doctor or anything, but I mean, last night we had a few x-rays on the floor, kept us busy, a few traumas that came in, nothing major, but something just to keep us awake at night. So overall tired, probably put myself like at a 65-ish, so we are dragging a little bit. Kind of dragged, was kind of do a little head nod over the 2 a.m. mark a little bit, but hopefully today we sleep a little bit, not too much. Probably gonna end up going to sleep around 12 or 1, maybe another 3 to 4 hours of sleep for this one. And Friday, typically our Fridays, which is Wednesday, well, Tuesday night heading into Wednesday, are pretty chill, But we do have the doctor that orders a lot of stuff, so the only thing that could stop her is if people just don't show up to the emergency room. But then you never know. So we'll see you on the next clip. Alrighty guys, it's currently 10 p.m. Finished working out, about to have my breakfast. And at work we had state come during the daytime. If you're fortunate enough to work night times at the hospital, you don't have to really worry about state. State usually comes either to your department or to investigate, or their yearly thing that happens. But something that I consistently notice when state comes, even if they're just in the building, stuff gets done a little bit more different. Like, I notice every single time state comes in and I walk into my typical night shift, everything's more neat, clean, wiped down, more up to par. It almost feels like the health inspector's coming to the establishment, and everything is a different little vibe. Overnight, we don't ever deal with them. The most we'll deal with them is if they know that they're gonna come, they might ask us to tidy up the department or to just seem more productive during like the earlier, because like it could happen between the 7 to 8 window we have. But besides that, we really don't deal with them much. And if you don't know, state will only come to the hospital for like 1 or 2 reasons. Either they found something, or they're investigating, or they do their yearly checkup with the hospital. That's kind of usually why they'll come to the hospital. So, yeah. So, I mean, ain't much going on. It's like the same kind of routine during the daytime. I know some of them, like, I can't really make this more interesting. The most I could tell you is what happens at work, but it's kind of basic. I mean, you kind of do the same things over and over. Here or there, you may have, if you have kids or you have family, you may just have to do other activities. But besides that, it's really no different than any other job. I mean, I don't get bothered much outside of work, especially since I work night shift. I may get a message here or a call during the morning about maybe something got shot under the wrong person, or maybe something didn't like cross over, or they'll have like the yearly like evaluation stuff that they may call us just to chit chat. But besides that, once you leave work, most of the time I don't get contact at all. Or if I do, like, it'll be, if they want like a paper trail of stuff, they'll just send you an email and you just kind of answer it when you go back. So it is nice perk of working night shift. You really don't get bothered much. So yeah, we'll have some breakfast and we'll probably catch you, I guess, when we go back to work for Friday, or if I have anything else to add. But that's about it. Guys, it's currently 4:53. Woke up about like 4:30ish. Now today, I'd say went to sleep about like 1:30. Currently feeling probably like a 50 as far as like energy level wise. But today is indeed Friday in my case, which is technically Tuesday night. And the only upside to you know it's Friday, the typical, there's a little bit of just, I guess, I notice it in my partner. Me, it really doesn't matter, because like between all the overtime or whatever else I have going on, like it's just a normal day. But I noticed that on my other tech, which knows it's Friday today, like the rest of the days it'll just kind of like drag on, and you'll see them like, we'll just get it done when we can, or there'll be like more of a typical just doing my job. And then when it's Friday, it's like it's a different type of vibe. It's a more of a, okay, let's just get it done. Come on, it's Friday. Like, there's more of a hurry to just, come on, let's just knock it out. Let's go. Like even though you're tired, you get like a tiny, I guess maybe adrenaline or some kind of dopamine hit. I don't know. I just notice it on some of the people, even the people who don't even work in our department. I notice them, they'll be more chipper, more happy, more like talking about what they're gonna do. Or like, especially if I know some of the peeps are gonna go on like vacation, they're gonna burn some PTO. It's the same energy they'll get. They're just like, but it does come with a double-sided sword. I can't confirm or deny what I'm about to say based off of my people, like as far as night shift and maybe day shift, but like I have noticed as general, just techs in general, when it's their Friday towards like the last hour, doesn't really count, because like you don't see them doing much work either. That's what I tend to see. I mean, with our team at night, we just ended up just knocking everything out, so we don't have to worry about anything or get bothered when you leave. Because like the worst thing is, it's Friday, you want to go home, and then you get hit up with something like, oh, why wasn't this done? Or you get called by like the radiologist, like, hey, you accidentally did this, or hey, what about this? Or even your manager reaching out to you outside of that because maybe day shift complaint or something like that. So even as far as like the morning portables, certain patients, I can't confirm or deny, not the most. Obviously we do our best to turn in the most optimal pictures, but like on night 7, sometimes let's say just like the image quality decreases by like maybe 5%, just a little bit, especially if they got morning ports every single night. Sometimes it's like, well, you'll be okay, you know. You might, it's just something I've noticed with everyone who's worked nights on that last night. It just happens. So even the add-ons, usually around like 7 o'clock, anything from timestamp 7 and before. Well, in my establishment, since we work 8 to 8, anything 7-ish before, we'll knock it out, just so this timestamp doesn't make us look bad. I can't confirm or deny on Fridays, that timestamp may get pushed a little bit back, just because you're tired, you're feeling it. But like the emergency room, though, it's a different story. It always takes higher priority. It's mainly the stuff on the floor that, you know, they tend to forget to put stuff on. Certain days of the week, the order sets get like canceled. Well, not canceled, but like it ends. So there's certain days where like we'll get heavy amounts of morning portables, and then in the daytime they'll get a bunch of just the add-ons because we had a light list, which is not our fault. So hopefully today's go good as far as caffeine wise. I might be okay. Still not too bad. Heading into Friday, like once I finish it kind of varies depending on, do I have to work day shift? Do I have night shift scheduled? Do whatever kind of plans I have going on will kind of vary how my Friday, like post Friday work, like if I stay up or I go to sleep. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think at the current moment there's any overtime available that I can work, so I'll probably end up having a pretty chill Friday-ish. So we'll see how that goes. So right now we're picking up the kids, and then we'll check on with y'all before we're gonna work. Guys, it is 7:43, chilling out here in the parking lot before we go in to clock in for the final night shift of this stretch. I hope you enjoy the videos. A little different with the GoPro, switching it up on you guys just so you can get a little glimpse of a true, like, kind of 7 on, 7 off kind of situation day by day. I mean, most of it's pretty simple, pretty basic, nothing too crazy. So, heading into this night, if you're curious, from just looking at the doctor's parking lot, we do have the doctor that loves to order stuff, but they're not overnight. So we just had to put up with them till like 12. So on that note, we're doing pretty good as far as who's the overnight doctor. Not a bad one, not a good one, just average type of doctor order-wise, nothing too crazy. So far we're looking good. No EMSs in the bay. Nothing happening in the city. No rain. You would think rain wouldn't affect. It does. So many people can't drive, as I call the NPC people. Anyone who comes, regular folks, they can't drive, they crash, they do whatever. You just can't stay home. So we're gonna hopefully have a good shift, take care of business, and we'll check in with you when we finish. It is 8 o'clock. We're free at last to begin the 7 off, which, I mean, depending how you see it, it's more like a 6-day off, technically-ish. Because, I mean, for most normal people, they'll fall asleep today during the daytime, and essentially your whole day's gone. And then if you want to get back to your normal schedule, by the time you wake up, you may have like dinner or whatever, and then you go back to sleep again, and you flip it, and then Thursday will kind of be the more normal full day-ish for most normal people. For me, depending on what I have going on, I'll probably either stay up today, just eat breakfast, go to the gym, maybe clean some stuff, do some basic stuff around the house. I think like today I got a meal prep for the rest of the week for when I'm off, and go to sleep and then switch back to daytime because I got to take care of the kids, and it's my turn to take them to school and deal with the regular stuff. This week I don't have on call for the Monday and Tuesday. So, technically speaking, you can kind of do whatever you want. Because, like, out of the month, if you work at the hospital, you're on call for, like, 2 days out of the month. Depending on how it falls. Sometimes 3, sometimes it's 1. Depending on what's going on with the schedule. But, I mean, besides that, it's really, you can do really whatever you want. You can, it's like GTA out here, the way I see it. But for most normal people, I mean, I'll probably wake up Thursday in the morning, probably like 6 something, take the kids to school, come back, eat breakfast, go to the gym, and then do whatever task I gotta do, whatever dad stuff or whatever, stuff that I've been pushing off for my days, like when I've been working. And that really sums about it. We might head to Dallas on the weekend or do something on the weekend with the family. And that's really about it. I won't really bore y'all with like the day-to-day me filming when I'm off, because I mean, ain't nothing special going on there. But I hope you enjoy this video. A little different than most other content I post. A little bit longer. So we'll try to chop it up and make it entertaining for y'all guys. But that's about it for the night tech life. I mean, it was pretty chill. Ended it Friday. A few add-ons here and there. Nothing crazy trauma-wise. And yeah, so it's been your boy Miguel. Hope you enjoy your daily dose of radiation, and we'll see you on the next one.